It's BBC Radio Sheffield, you're listening to Paulette. So it is incredible how a moment in your life can just transform things. You may have experienced that for yourself. Well, back in 2016, Richard Patton was cycling in Millersdale in Peak District when he was hit by a car at 40 miles an hour. He suffered life-threatening injuries, was placed in the critical care unit, but through his 8-week stay at the Northern General Hospital, he was able to make a recovery. Now Richard has donated over £10,000 to Sheffield Hospital's charity to fund an arm and leg bike design for rehabilitation in gratitude for his recovery. He's in the studio with me alongside CEO of Sheffield Hospital's charity, Beth. Good morning, Richard, Beth. Thank you both for coming in to talk about this huge thing. So, Richard, can I start off by talking about what happened to you? What happened? What do you remember?
I was out on a morning ride with a friend. We were wrecking a route and we stopped at a junction. We're just checking our map and I exited the junction and suddenly a car came around a corner and for some reason he crossed over onto the wrong side of the road. And so that by the time I was on the correct side, he hit me, basically threw me about 20 metres. I really can't remember much about it at all. I can't remember anything from about 2 days beforehand. So this is what I've been told. I have absolutely no memory of that myself.
Right, because I say with concussion, because my fella's experienced concussion recently, this is how I know this. Your memory's wiped from before the event to after the event. So, what do you remember about coming round then?
Hallucinations is actually what I remember, if you want an honest answer. Wild hallucinations, and the words, "Richard, do you know where you are? You're in the Northern General Hospital. You've had an accident," and those, and just a grey. That is it. I was unable to communicate, so. I had double vision, so when I did come round about 3 or 4 days later, I was unable to communicate, so the only way I could communicate was by pointing at letters on a board. So I was ventilated, and because I had double vision, I would point at one letter, and I thought I was pointing at P, and they're saying L, and so I got incredibly frustration. So my memories aren't of anything, are of frustration. So hallucinations, confusion, and then just pure frustration because I couldn't communicate. So eventually the only way I could communicate was by squeezing my wife's hand, which she went for the alphabet letter at a time, and I would squeeze her hand at the right letter. And so that was the only means I could communicate. And then probably 2 or 3 days like that, and then another 3 or 4 weeks when I was unconscious because I became really ill again. And then I came round towards the end of that and on a ventilator still, and I could just remember I started to improve, and therefore I then started to be able to communicate better. So one of my nurses could lip read, and that was the most fantastic thing on earth, that you could communicate with somebody and they could understand you. And so, I spent another sort of 3 or 4 weeks ventilated, slowly trying to improve.
Tell me about what your life was like before the accident, Richard.
I was fit. About 2 or 3 months before my cycling accident, I cycled Land's End to John O'Groats with my younger brother. So we did it in about 9 days, so cycling probably an average about 115 miles a day. And so I was really fit. I was very healthy. I know the day before my accident, I cycled into work. I only know that because I've got a Strava recording of it. I've no memory of that at all. But I know, but that's what I was doing. I was doing a lot of fit. I'm actually a fell runner, actually, out of normality. But I was doing a lot of cycling because I'd wanted to do Land's End to John O'Groats.
And your job?
I worked at the time. I was working as a vet in Sheffield. And so it's quite a full-on job, but I was enjoying life. I was fit and I was active, and I was doing stuff.
Right, so incredible. The recovery took a while. Of course it did. I set goals for myself and targets, and I knew a year after my accident I wanted to be able to cycle into the Northern General Hospital. And so that summer, so the accident was in September, so that summer we went for a cycling holiday. I went somewhere quiet. We went to the Hebrides. I went cycling in the Hebrides with the family, so it's a family holiday. So I would be prepared for cycling into the Northern General later in the year. We didn't cycle very far, 10 miles a day. The kids were young, 20 miles a day maybe.
But that prepared me. And 2 years after my accident, I wanted to do a race. So I did the Three Peaks sort of cyclocross. So I pushed really, really, really hard to recover. I surprised so many people in my recovery. But actually pushing so hard to recover actually caused me to have a form of chronic fatigue. And I've been ill for the past 4 or 5 years, unable to exercise at all because of the fatigue, probably through trying too hard to recover.
And we'll talk about your work as well. I'm talking to Sir Richard Patton. He was cycling in Millersdale in the Peak District. He was hit by a car at 40 miles an hour. He's explained what happened to him. He has now gone on, has Richard, to donate over £10,000 to Sheffield Hospitals Charity. And the CEO of Sheffield Hospitals Charity, Beth Crackles, is here as well. So over £10,000, a lot of money. We're going to talk a bit about how it was spent. You know, we've got an idea of how it was spent. But before we do that, Beth Crackles, she's the CEO of Sheffield Hospitals Charity. We're going to talk to you more in just a bit. But because we're marking the anniversary, the 60th anniversary of Pirate Radio, we thought we'd have some contributions. You know, I don't want to do this show on my own. You can't on an anniversary like this, Beth. So you're going to introduce the next song for us, please.
Fabulous. Thank you, Paulette. I absolutely love a good pop song. So delighted to introduce Taylor Swift with Cruel Summer.
Oh, you did it better than I could. Thank you.
People dream high in the quiet of the night. You know that I caught it. Bad boy, sunny.
Paulette Edwards.
Paulette Edwards.
BBC Radio Sheffield.
Yeah, we were talking about how your life can change in just an instant, and maybe you've had an experience of that. So back in 2016, Richard Patton was cycling in Millersdale in the Peak District, got hit by a car at 40 miles an hour. So Richard, after having life-threatening injuries, was placed in critical care unit. Through his 8-week stay at the Northern General, he was able to make a recovery. And from what Richard's saying, you know, we're still working on that a little bit. So Richard has now donated over £10,000 to Sheffield Hospitals Charity to fund an arm and leg bike designed for rehabilitation, and he's given that as a gratitude for his recovery. And so we're talking to Richard and the CEO of Sheffield Hospitals Charity, Beth Crackles. Beth, can I come to you first of all and just talk about this £10,000? How did you feel when you had, because any money is great for a charity, isn't it? £10,000. Richard specified where he wanted it to go.
Yeah, it's an incredible amount of money. Sheffield Hospitals Charity exists to support Sheffield's hospitals, community and social care teams to fund things that the NHS simply cannot afford. So gifts like this, £10,000, incredible amount, it means the absolute world to people. So Richard's already heard, following some press last week, he's heard from people who have told him how they're already benefiting from the kit, which is fantastic to hear. And, you know, personally, I'm really delighted that it's been a positive experience for Richard and his wife to have this after such a life-changing experience.
How did you know that this would be the thing that you would spend the £10,000 on? And we'll talk about where the money came from in just a bit, Richard.
So when I went into hospital this summer, it was hot, and so the first 3 or 4 weeks we'll ignore because I can't remember very much of it. But when I did start to recover, it was hot, and the nurses brought fans to the bed, and the fans had been donated by previous families, basically, who'd been in intensive care. And I just assumed that things like fans would be part of the would be something that the hospital would have, but actually the fans were donated. They were very nice. They were Dyson fans actually, and they were very effective. They actually helped cool me down, and actually, you know, it was day after day after day you were needing these things. But that gave me the seed that people had donated bits of kit to the hospital beforehand, and that things had to be donated to a degree. Little things which made life better. And then one weekend, the two or three of the physios went to the cardiac rehab unit, and they brought down a static bike for me to practice. So you've got to understand that I'm tied to the bed with a ventilator. I've got lines going into me. I've got tubes into my kidneys. I've got tubes coming out of me left, right and centre. But they need to try to mobilise me and get me active. So they've gone across the hospital bringing this incredibly heavy, cumbersome bike because it wasn't going to be used by the cardiac rehab team over the weekend. So they brought me a bike they sat me on that bike, sort of reclining bike, and got me to do some exercise on that bike, which required moving my ventilator across all my lines. The amount of effort and work that went into that. But that simple gesture of bringing the bike into intensive care, because they knew I was a cyclist and they knew how important that was to me, how that inspired me, that made me think, well, why isn't this here? Why isn't there something like this that they can actually just use on a daily basis, etc.? Because it was, they went out of their way to help me. It was that sort of that measure, and so that triggered the idea that I thought that if we did ever come into some money after this, we had any money funds that we could put towards it, we would try and fund something like that so other people could benefit from it, because it made a massive difference to my health and to my recovery and to getting me active again.
So you did come into some funds then, Richard?
Yes, I mean, it took a long time, about 6 years, but there was the actual driver was at fault for the accident, and there was a big dispute with the insurance about that. There was dispute, and it just took a long time to work its way through the things. But when a settlement did finally come, the first thing we did was ring the charities up to say, look, we've got this block of money, we'd like to buy this is what we would like to do. In particular, we want other people to benefit like I benefited when I was in hospital. How can we do that? And the Charities Trust took that on basically and ran with it.
Amazing. So that must have been quite moving for you, Bev, as a fundraiser, trying to do the best by people. Richard talking about those fans, someone donated those and they made a vast difference to his experience in the hospital.
Yeah, and that's what we're all about. We're all about providing that improved experience for patients within the hospital. So the NHS will fund fans, but they won't necessarily fund Incredible Dyson fans, for example. So that comes back to the charity, and we can only do that through the generosity of gifts such as Richard's and support from businesses and the broader public across Sheffield. I think this example is such a beautiful demonstration of NHS staff going above and beyond for patients. The NHS is absolutely packed with people who have gone into the NHS, into a healthcare setting, because they fundamentally care and love people. And we see some challenging headlines about the NHS every day, but at Sheffield Hospitals Charity, we see an entirely different set of headlines. So these NHS staff, the physio team, really understood Richard's drive and determination to get stronger physically and mentally, and they sourced the kit from elsewhere. So to be able to now, through Richard, to be able to fund that kit so that other people can benefit, that's fundamentally what we're about.
It's incredible, isn't it? Richard, so you had the accident in the September, is that right? And what happened on your birthday then, 20th October?
Okay, so the birthday's quite important. So this might make me emotional. So October the 20th, the day my tracheotomy came out. So that I'd been in hospital, pinned to a bed for a long time. It was a day that my tracheotomy came out. It was a day that I saw my kids for the first time. I can't express it because we didn't want them. I couldn't talk. I couldn't communicate. Communication was just so difficult. And I wanted to be able to talk to my kids when I saw them. So they're relatively young. We tried to shelter them from the trauma of what had gone on. And I had a shower for the first time, so you can't express, when you've been pinned to a bed for 7 weeks, on a ventilator, to actually get into a shower did require 2 other people to be in the room with me, plus a chair to sit down on. But that's, that day will live with me forever. It was a fantastic day to see my kids, to be able to wash. It was such a good day. That was the day I will remember.
Lots of gratitude in there as well, isn't it, to get you to that point. Well, it's been incredible to talk to you, Richard. Thank you so much. And on behalf, obviously, of the people who are going to use that rehabilitation bike, thank you as well. And we're wishing you all the best. You're not being a vet anymore then. You're doing something different now. I've been the fatigue ate away at my life, ate away at me as a person, and it stopped me being a normal person, it stopped me being a good parent. And so actually stopping working was the best thing I'd done, because it's given me time to start to recover and to start to enjoy and to experience life and to be grateful to life, basically. Yeah. We're grateful to you, Richard. Thank you very much for joining us on BBC Radio Sheffield. Richard Patton, Beth Crackles, CEO of Sheffield Hospital Charity, telling us about Richard's generous donation of over £10,000 to Sheffield Hospitals Charity to fund an arm and leg bike designed for rehabilitation. Gratitude for his recovery after his cycling accident. It has been so I don't know. Heartwarming, reassuring to talk to you. We're so glad you made a great recovery, and great, Beth, for the wonderful work that you're doing to make our stays in hospital, our visits to hospital, a little bit better.